Namaste, beautiful people. Welcome back to Psychiana, your space for spiritual wisdom, sidereal astrology, and intuitive guidance. I'm Ritu Lalit. Today, I want to discuss the coming full moon. See, this is not just any full moon, it's activating in the Chitra nakshatra. Chitra is ruled by Mars, and it brings sharp insights, revelations, and transformative energy not only in your personal life. Chitra brings these energies into the political and financial systems of the planet. Let's talk about what this full moon means. In sidereal astrology, this full moon that falls in Virgo, in Chitra, is the sign of healing, structure, analytical thought. While the sun sits directly opposite in Pisces. Pisces is the realm of intuition, of illusion. Now, the axis between Virgo and Pisces is being lit up, urging us to balance reason with spiritual insight. Chitra Nakshatra adds a Mars driven push to redesign and rebuild, to expose weak foundations, whether it is in our personal life or in the global systems. In one of my previous videos, I talked about 4th of April and how dangerous it was for USA and particularly for President Trump. Well, we are seeing a lot of unrest happening in USA, which is why I wanted to do a separate video on what this full moon will bring to the world, to our planet. Now, politically, what can we expect? We can expect a spotlight on government transparency, public service systems, legal accountability. We may see sudden revelations, particularly related to public funds, to healthcare, to tech infrastructure. There will be investigations. There may be truths, uncomfortable truths being revealed. And another thing I see happening is international diplomacy getting aggressive. Mars is in play and Mars is influencing foreign affairs. I expect military treaties, defense spending changes, and new tech collaborations, particularly in the weapons industry. And a word of warning, if any government has been hiding data, this full moon energy is likely to bring that secret out into public scrutiny. Now let's talk about money, financial and market trends. Mercury is retrograde and combust. It's very close to the sun. This makes it a very risky time for financial decisions. Misinformation, forecasting errors, data leaks, all these will play havoc in the markets. They rattle investor confidence, especially in tech markets and cryptocurrency. That being said, Virgo energy supports industries linked to health, analytics, eco-tech. Keep your eyes on these markets: pharma and biotech, AI and health data companies, and green infrastructure, clean energy, sustainable tech. Currency fluctuations are likely, especially in oil export economies. Gold and silver may dip slightly before stabilizing post April. A word over here, I talked about it previously and I'm talking about it again. The portfolios that will invest in gold and silver long term will gain a lot, particularly silver. Gold is very expensive, So if you are looking to invest, look into silver. Now, after my video on USA and Trump, I got a lot of DMs asking me to follow the events in USA. So here goes. The USA chart, Sidereal 4th July 1776, 9:36 a.m. Philadelphia. Moon in Capricorn, Lagna in Cancer, Rahu currently transiting Pisces. The full moon impact across the third and ninth house axis of the USA chart. This brings into play the third house, Virgo, communication, media, press, diplomacy, and military decisions. And ninth house, Pisces, foreign policy, justice system, higher courts, constitutional matters. So, how do I see this playing out? I see intense media focus on legal markets, on foreign relations. Supreme Court or judicial system may be involved in high profile decisions. And there is Rahu transiting Pisces, ninth house, and Mars influencing Chitra. I expect agitation or conflict in foreign policy. I particularly think that with all the public unrest happening in domestic US, perhaps the powers that be may try to divert attention by aggressive posturing internationally, which brings into play NATO, trade, and military operations. Now let's look at Donald Trump. 14 June 46, 10:54 a.m., Queens, New York. Lagna Cancer, Moon in Scorpio, Anuradha, Sun in Taurus. Full Moon in Virgo, Chitra Nakshatra. This activates his third house, which is communication, media, litigation, and ninth house, legal system, international matters. Chitra is ruled by Mars, which aspects Trump's natal Rahu in Taurus. Possible developments are that legal heat intensifies. Possible rulings or leaks connected with ongoing court battles. Some surprise statement, some media revelation. Maybe leaks concerning an ongoing court battle. And you know what? I see a lot of Mars influence in play, which means there will be defiance, aggressive posturing, rallies, a lot of polarizing of communication. Also, Mercury retrograde is affecting his 10th house, which is career and public image. So there is possible confusion, media spin around his status, around endorsements. So, what do we see here? We see legal battles, which feature prominently both in USA's chart and Trump's chart. We see court related drama. We see revision in international investments or campaigns. There can be speech and social media activity which escalates controversies. So, my friends, USA is going to go through interesting times. Now, let's talk about India. 15th August 1947, midnight, Delhi. Lagna Cancer, Moon in Cancer, Pushya Nakshatra. Current major period is the Moon Mahadasha and the Venus Antardasha. See, Virgo falls in India's third house, communication, media, neighboring nations, military strategies, and Pisces falls in the ninth house, which is law, judiciary, higher education, international affairs, religion. India is going to experience election driven energy surge. This full moon occurs right before and during the national election phase. I expect major announcements, manifesto rollouts, legal judgments, standard pre election stuff. But then there is Chitra Nakshatra in play. This is Mars root. So the energy is very bold, lots of drama, huh? So there will be last minute shifts, game changer moments. There is a third house activation, which is massive media coverage, social media influence, debates, aggressive campaigns, and possibly military mobilization or news related to the border, to internal security, to our neighboring countries. Ninth house Pisces, there is a potential for court verdicts that impact religious institutions and educational systems. The Mars aspect could stir polarizing narratives in the media. Saturn in Aquarius, 8th house, means ongoing institutional restructuring, slow but deep transformation of governance and systems. Rahu is in Pisces. Religious and spiritual leaders will enter political discourse, which is not a good thing. Foreign policy focus will intensify. Ketu is in Virgo. So I do not think that the voter behavior will be very comfortable for the political parties because the voters are going to be very critical, analytical, even rebellious. Voters want practical results and they are not going to be shy about expressing this. So, in summary, elections are going to be high volatility, there's going to be sudden shifts, new alliances, lots of posturing. There will be involvement of army, of defense announcement. There will be aggressive posturing with neighboring nations. And the public mood is going to demand transparency. It's going to demand results. It is going to demand economic stability. How does this full moon relate to us on a personal level? I'm going to do another video on what the full moon means for us as the Aam Janta. Generally, what I would say is declutter your finances, avoid impulsive investments for now. Use the earthy energy of Virgo to create routines for your health, for your diet. Om Kujaya Namah is a very powerful mantra to balance Mars assertive energy. Use red coral, carnelian for focus, for drive. And if you are a healer, if you're a teacher, if you're an analyst, this moon can bring breakthrough to your work. Trust your process. This full moon is less about chaos. It is more about clearing up, finding the flaws in the old system, replacing them with better ones. You can use the Mars energy to focus, to look at the flaws and replace them with more sustainable routines. Take care of your health, particularly with the summer temperature rising. Keep yourself well hydrated. Mars is very aggressive. Mars is related to the blood. So, keeping yourself hydrated keeps your circulation going. Let me know in the comments what you're releasing this full moon, how you're grounding your energy during Mercury retrograde. And until next time, stay intuitive, stay empowered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so that you can see more videos about sidereal astrology with me. This is Ritu Lalit signing off from Psychiana. Namaste.